I first started longer than that, like 10 years ago when I first got in Top Gear, and they were like sub 4 seconds or sub 5 seconds, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like, that used to be like a crazy ass thing.
You there, Chuck Yeager.
Like, calm down there, friendo.
It's I-15, it's not the Salt Flats. I'm not trying to break the land speed record here.
Yeah, save that shit for 201.
Hey, so, sidebar, since we're not actually recording yet.
I mean, we are recording and we're live on YouTube, but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, well then I'll save that for later then.
Okay. On that note, that was weak. The tab was bent. Don't worry, I got another one for later when Trent gets here. Anyway, welcome everyone, and by everyone I mean Chris watching in the chat, to episode 282 of the Camcast, the most illustrious podcast being recorded in an unfinished basement with a furnace that you can hear. Because, you know, professionalism and so forth. Anyway. Ooh, that is good. I am Mike, dear leader, doc taste, leader of men, herder of cats, wearer of the gray sweatpants, who has to remind the ladies that, hey, my eyes are up here. Maker of wings. And I am joined, we will be joined by the one, the only, the shadowy billionaire himself, Trent from Sandy. When he gets here, he's waiting for his wife to get home. But in the meantime, we have Captain Awesome himself. He's out there styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying. AJ Glasswalker, what's up, bud?
What's going on? I'm not quite Captain Awesome. I'm like Second Lieutenant Awesome.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. And I said captain instead of something like higher, so just know where I pegged your ceiling.
Depending on what branch we're in, that could be higher.
We'll go ahead and say Coast Guard. Because really, this is Cam Automag is the Coast Guard of the automotive journalism world. Let's be perfectly honest. You only hear about us when something goes wrong. So
that is an apt comparison.
It's really us. Anyway, let me jump over to the agenda because it feels like it's been 10 years since I've had to do this, but it really hasn't. Follow us on all of the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We are at Cam Automag on the lot of them. When there have been races going on, I try to get a little spicy on the Twitter. This weekend is the 24 Hours of Le Mans. They have released some weird new refueling regulations. So take that for what you will. I will be getting spicy every now and again when I can get a chance to fire up the old Motor Trend app. Shout out to Chirp. And get to watching. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram primarily, where we post, I don't know, stuff. Pictures from Forza Horizon. It's been a minute since I've gone out and shot fun photos. So anyway, podcast available wherever you get your podcasts. Like, rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. I don't know, bootleg them onto CDs. Live that early 2000s life. There it is. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/CamAutomag. Any dollar amount is greatly appreciated, but $5 is the best bang for your buck. Hi, Trent.
Hi, Trent.
Hello.
$5 gets you into the Shenanigans Super Secret Shitposting Facebook group where I post Simpsons memes and unnecessary nose swaps and other stuff and ask you existential questions. It's what I do.
Yeah, this week was a banger.
It's what my life has become. For the time being, head over to CamAutoswag.com. Get yourself a sweet Fly Cam-Am shirt while it's still a thing you can do. Get a Cam hat, backpack, flip-flop, shorts, other stuff. All over at CamAutoswag.com until we finally put it out of its misery.
Soon.
Take it out the pasture.
Send it to a nice farm upstate.
Yeah.
With all the other online shops.
And all of Mike's other ideas.
I may be digging into the golf bag for a bottle of tequila if we're going to keep taking shots like that. Anyway, support our sponsor, Steady Broke Clothing, steady.broke on the social media, steadybroke.com. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't get some awesome, affordable, high-quality merchandise. SteadyBroke.com. Use coupon code CAMAUTO15 at checkout and save 15% on your entire order. And that whole thing about being broke. Hey, man, I'll show you how to doctor up ramen on the bowl is too small. I'll really show you how to just blow some minds with that. So, in addition to all the other stuff I keep telling people I'm going to do.
There's some solid ramen recipes out there.
Hey, man.
I'm actually itching to try your pizza recipe.
Hey, man. It's good stuff. Trent can attest for it.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I can attest all day long.
Attaboy.
I do like the, you buy the pre-made dough and
Yeah.
spread it on the baking sheet like that. I didn't think to do the, whatever it is you put on the bottom.
Cornmeal?
Cornmeal, thank you.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, with that pre-made stuff, you just get it out of the tube, like cut it in half, and then there you go. Because that stuff wants to get really thick and really wants to just be a thick, chunky boy. But you don't want that. You want nice, thin, crispy, because you're a man of taste and quality.
Absolutely.
Yep. Anyway, we're doing stuff on Twitch every Thursday for Twitch Thursday because I am a sucker for alliteration. We'll probably be doing Forza Horizon again some more because that's always a good time. Unless somebody complains,
They better not, because Forza Horizon's amazing.
Seriously. 7 p.m. twitch.tv/CamAutoMike. That's 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. for AJ. I think that's 3 Hawaiian, something. I don't know. I used to know the times. I used to watch Good Sports Center.
You used to have your crap together.
Many years ago. Anyway, we've got some things. We've got some people we need to wish happy birthday to. Give some shout outs. Where are they? There they are. I'm going to bother putting them in the agenda. Happy birthday and shout out to Ayrton Littell. He won his Spec Z race this weekend because he is amazing. He dedicated it to us in the shenanigans. He said, "This one's for the boys."
Aww.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Let's see. Also,
He just told us that afterwards, right? He didn't actually dedicate it to us.
I mean, he posted a picture of the medal and said, "This one's for the boys," and he only posted it, in the shenanigans group. So listen.
I mean, that's good enough. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So
hey, man, I need something to desperately cling on to. Let me have this.
have it.
All right. Happy birthday to Tegan Ryder, doing them sick wheelies down there in Southern California. John Annunziata, Freddie Ventura, Chase Garrett, Tanner Spencer, Drew Stavely, and the one and only Ben Lamberson. Happy birthday to the lot of you. Let's see. I'm probably going to see, God willing, I'm going to see Chase at the Salt City Drift 2-Day in a couple weeks. That is a thing I have to go to. I can't not, because Devin Creasy's coming out. He's going to be renting a car from somebody and driving it because he's not bringing his Corolla out. That's just how it works. Glenn is going to be out there. Lovable, huggable Glenn Hecht. Turns out he took a job where he's doing a lot of traveling, so I don't get to see him nearly as much. So I'm going to go see him, give him hugs. There we go. All right. Chris says he has the expansion, so hey, man. We could do some Fortune Island stuff. We could do some Lego stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You know what? I've had that. I've, bought the VIP, special edition, whatever. The $100 one went, pre-ordered it, like all that. I have never once booted up the, now I can't even think of the name of it, the island.
Fortune Island.
Fortune Island. I've done the Lego stuff. I've played the British Island, a bunch of times. I just have never been there.
Dude, Fortune Island is fun. I haven't done a lot of exploring there, but I have found one drift zone that is huge. Like, it is crazy long. And I was in my crazy ass Ford Falcon, which I'm telling you, sedans might be the way to go if you wanna get slidey. Just throw that out there. But yeah, no, there's a lot of fun happening there. Totally
Awesome.
Sounds
ruined
like I need to shell out for the expansion pack.
the Fortune Island one. Yeah, man. So it's worth it, dude. It's worth it. Oh, you get I think you get like the Ram TRX. Like that's the truck they give you when they do the
Ooh.
opening thing. Yeah. So
Very much down for that.
oh yes. Right. There we go. Did that. Did some shout outs. And yeah, all right, cool. Well, anybody want to talk about anything fun or exciting they've done recently?
You put me on the spot.
I mean, I said
I didn't have
everyone.
anything ready.
Exciting.
Okay, so this weekend I did a over on the Bowl is Too Small's Facebook page. I did a live stream where I made 3 different kinds of chicken wings. Well, 2 different kinds of chicken wings and buffalo cauliflower for my coworker. So that was fun. Finding out that my YouTube page is not big enough to do mobile live streaming. That apparently
No. You just need to. I know this exact same situation you ran into. You just didn't plan 24 hours ahead.
Mm-mm.
All you have to do is apply, and it will let you do it.
Really?
You just have to wait 24 hours. They want to make sure you're not like gonna go do something stupid and live stream it on some disposable channel.
Even though I verified. So when I went to do the live stream thing, it said you do not meet the metrics for mobile live streaming. So when I tried to do a live stream from my laptop, it then said you need to verify your account and wait 24 hours. I verified my account when I started it. So,
but then you need to attempt to live stream, and then you have to wait 24 hours.
I don't even know why. Why did I need to verify my account if I can't live stream? Whatever. I'll start it. There'll be yet another Twitch channel that I log into on my phone on occasion. Give me
Nice.
the trifecta. But at least it went off with mostly without a hitch on Facebook. I did burn my hand putting some chicken in hot oil because,
Nicely done.
Yep, it's what I do. It's what I do. Also decided I'm never shopping for meat at Smith's again. I'm only going to Harmon's.
That's saying something, since you were employed for some time and your family has quite the employment history with Smith's.
Yep.
But I don't disagree with you.
No, it's a fucking joke. Listen, I needed to buy chicken wings and I needed to get boneless, skinless chicken thighs.
Mm-hmm.
Managed to find the smallest pack of bone-in wings over at the Smith's. One of like the last 2 remaining. And then for like the last month and a half, they've only ever had bone-in skin on thighs, which I'm not going to complain. That's where the flavor lives. But when I'm trying to hack these things up and deep fry them, listen, I don't need that additional step of butchery in there. I don't need it. I can't. So, yeah, going to go pay the premium, go to the Harmons.
The Smith's family is going to come after you now. They're going to set a hitter.
Oh, fuck them.
And you
The
know
Smith's
our
Mafia.
good friend Jeff Woodyat's going to be the one calling out the hit.
Yeah, well, if he calls out the hit, I'm coming for him. All right? All right. I filibustered enough. Do you guys have anything?
Oh, I was supposed to do that? Yeah, so over the weekend, built a playhouse, and my daughter made like $100 washing dogs.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Got a house full of entrepreneurs there.
Yeah. She's doing a ridiculous thing. She even told me before I came down here. She's like, you have to mention Eva's favorite dog services when you're on the podcast.
Done and done.
So if you're local and you need a dog sitting, dog washing, or weekly poop cleanup, she does it up.
Hey,
Solid.
Yeah.
nice.
Speaking of entrepreneurs, I had a very interesting encounter with a woman at one of my repairs today.
Oh,
I would love to hear about it.
So I fix cell phones for Assurion, the insurance company. I'm their mobile technician. So I go out to this job, and I'm fixing this phone for this woman. And she said the same thing that I get a lot. Hey, can you do some work under the table if we pay you? And so I told her, no, I only carry enough parts for that day. I don't have any extras to spare. And she's like, okay, yeah, I got it. And so she comes out, I give her her phone, and her friend comes out. And I'm like, well, let me see your phone. Let me see how bad it is, and then I can send you to our store and maybe have them help you out. And I was looking it over. It was a iPhone 8, I think. Both sides were cracked. It was completely destroyed. But the woman I did the repair for kept being like, so, if I call you like on your day off, can you like come do some side work for me? You ever thought about doing some side work? And I'm like, nah, I don't. I signed a contract. I can't do any side work. And she's like, okay, I got you. And she's like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm all about cutting out the middleman. And in my head, I'm like, that's not how that works.
No.
And I immediately thought of Trent, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that's not how it works
That's
at all.
really not how that
No,
works.
not really at all. But all right, whatever.
Yeah, and she kept doing that whole like, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'll give you some side work, and it's like, I'm not gonna steal from my inventory for $50.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Risk my job for that. I'm good, thank you.
Make it 50 G's though.
Hey.
You might have something there. I'll do work on the side for 50 G's. I'll break that contract.
There you go. Right. Well, we have done enough friendly banter. Let's get into some news, shall we?
Oh yeah, I guess that's a thing we do, isn't it?
Allegedly,
Very easy
I mean,
news.
listen, we could just like go off on tangents. The people seem to enjoy the tangents.
They apparently do.
Yeah.
I did suggest that this just be a Mike and Trent air their grievances episode.
I'm not feeling it,
No, not
honestly.
tonight.
I'm not feeling spicy right now. I had a good evening with the kids. Like
Yeah.
they were cooperative. Like
Well, hot damn.
we had a good time. I mean, we just built this playhouse, and underneath is going to be a sandbox. Right now, it's just dirt. But my son and I were just playing with toy trucks under there. Like, how can I be mad after that?
Dude, seriously, the toy trucks are where it's at.
Yeah.
Dude, for sure. For sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I had work is finally mellowing out. Thank Christ for that. But I did learn something fun. If we call in sick and we say that we are sick and have a fever, we have to go get a doctor's note, and then we have to stay home for 3 days. So, which would be fine if we had, like, PTO and stuff like that. But me and my office mate, we are both out of it. So she gets to spend the better part of the week sitting at home, not getting paid, having to pay for this doctor visit.
Sucks.
Yep. So, hooray, being taken over by evil corporate overlords. This is
Yay, election of infection.
this is just going to be like, people are going to start showing up sick because they can't afford to not come to work. And then everybody's going to get sick. That's just how this works.
Yeah, everybody's going to get sick, and they're going to be like, see, this is why you flatten the curve. And then it's like, well...
It's like, see, this is... Why are you... Well, then, like, when we're not there for a week, people are going to get pissed. It's like, well, this is what you asked for. So here it is.
It's the, do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants.
Exactly.
Or whatever he said. I don't know. I don't watch Archer.
No, that's exact. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't watch it either, but I know enough to know that.
I watch Archer in the sense that I've seen enough memes to piece together episodes.
Attaboy. That's how you do it.
You and I, AJ. You and I.
God, speaking of memes and piecing something together from just memes, I saw this YouTube video. It was titled Simpsons, but just the memes. And it was like 20 minutes long. So I'm assuming it's just all of like the meme clips. So like
Nice.
Homer going back into the woods, Mo showing you the 411.
I really
All those
hope it's
fun
in
things.
like episodic order, so that way it can just be like The Simpsons in 20 minutes.
That would be great.
You could probably condense The Simpsons down to 20 minutes. It wouldn't be funny, but
No, but-
you probably could.
Yeah.
lose the context, but it'd still be
Oh yeah. No, it would
good.
still make sense on some level. Well, do we want to go off on another little tangent, or should we talk about this Fuji Speedway RCF?
I was actually trying really, really hard to figure out a segue to lead us into that, and I just could not make it come together.
Yeah. Listen, it's
Speaking of come together, there's a track where cars sometimes come together called Fuji Speedway. Wow, that was
Points for effort, Trent.
listen.
Speaking of car crashes, segue.
You got out there and you tried. That's God bless you for it.
He swung that bat as hard as he could, but it's still in the mitt.
Oh yeah. This is why I am not the host of this thing.
Speaking of being unexpectedly slow,
Hey Jay, why don't we pay you more?
I was just telling Mike
Yeah.
about.
We were talking about this before you showed up.
I was just. I can't.
You can't even get it out.
We were just talking about how I looked at the 0 to 60 time for the new Lexus RCF, and it's a hair under 4 seconds. Near just makes no difference. And I looked at that and I went, wow, that's kind of slow. And not 10 years ago, anything sub 5 seconds was like breaking this land speed record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, the funny thing about this RCF Fuji Speedway edition is it's basically like the track edition the limited edition model they did last year.
Yeah.
Which they only did 60 units of, and they're only doing 60 units of the Fuji Speedway one. But it's funny because they have to break it down to the next digit to make it sound impressive. Because if you round up, it's 4.0 seconds. But 0 to 60 in 3.96. This is their advertised one. And the funny thing is, the regular RCF is like 0 to 60 in 4.2.
Yeah, so it's
this is the lightweight, track-focused version, and that's what it takes to get it under 4 seconds.
If you have to break out the hundredth of a second, you're stretching that a bit much.
Yes. Yeah. But the track edition last year honestly looked pretty cool. And I think this does too. It's got a big wing on it. It's got all the angles, which, some people are into.
Here's the thing, though, is they call it, the Fuji Speedway track edition, but they only shaved off, 3 seconds off the 0 to 60 time? And you go, that's not that much of a difference. But if they called it the Lexus TRD edition, I'd go, wow, they shaved off 3 seconds. That's amazing.
Well, that's just the 0 to 60 time. I mean, I'm sure it's faster around the track. You would think Lexus would put that information in their press release, but of course they don't,
because nobody who buys this thing is going to take it anywhere near a track. Let's be honest.
True. Yeah, it might go down a quarter mile, but
the only Lexuses you see at a track are like the held together by hopes and dreams and duct tape drift IS 300s
that are 1JZ swapped.
Or they just put a manual behind the 2J and crazy tall gears. You're like, fuck it.
With eBay turbo. I mean, there's a couple of lights in downtown Salt Lake that are about a quarter mile apart. You might see one do that.
Yeah, there it is.
The interesting thing about it, though, is they did debut a new paint with this, which is a semi-matte paint, which you can run through a car wash. It is not hand wash only.
Well, shit.
You do have to put it on delicates, though.
You're not just going to put it on whites.
No,
of course not.
Well, let me just tuck this raging hard-on back over the idea I could take my semi-matte Lexus through the car wash. Jesus. The more we talk about this, the worse it sounds.
But okay, you have to give it some props because it's the first factory matte paint that you could do that with, because like that was the ridiculous thing about the Veloster when they came out with the matte paint for that.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hand wash that thing.
It's a Veloster. It's a $23,000 Korean hatchback.
It even gets washed.
You might. Well, exactly.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah,
Speaking of which, my truck hasn't been washed in like 6 months, so I need to do that.
Well, I bought a bunch of stuff from work, so I got like a gallon of car wash. So I need to wash the van, so we could have a car wash day.
Mike, you want to do a little side work?
Cut out the middleman and be an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to cut out the middleman. That's what I do.
There it is.
I really
got to spend money to make money.
And so forth.
Just wait until I hit you with that invoice.
Mike, there's too many zeros here.
Did you forget where the decimal point goes?
You know what? Don't worry about it. I'll put it in. I'll just put it in pen.
Why are there so many decimals?
$1.
Those are commas. All right. We started talking about a special edition Lexus F car named after a racetrack and started talking about washing our cars.
Oh, and it's going to have
how we do.
Yeah. But anyway, it does have red carbon trim. How about that?
Okay. There we go. Saved it.
Yeah.
Pulled it out of that nosedive.
They need to fire the guy that also does the designing for Dyson and get somebody else.
Plot twist, it's the same dude.
Oh, Jeremy Clarkson made a joke about it looking like a vacuum cleaner 10 years ago, and it still looks like that. It just looks like a really angry vacuum cleaner.
Hey, man.
Yeah. It's the Type R Dyson.
If that's what the suburbs want, then that's what the suburbs shall get.
Dyson Track Edition.
Hey, there was one guy I sold an orange RCF to that put winter tires on it and drove it year round, and that guy is a hero.
Shout out to that dude. I want to put racing stripes on my Roomba.
There you go.
That's so bad. All right. Shit, I don't think it's getting used. We bought it so we wouldn't have to vacuum, and then here we are vacuuming like suckers. Well, see, the thing that sucks about it is we got to teach it the new layout of the living room because it
can't learn itself.
It should learn by itself.
Well, we got to put it in programming mode, and it's not really a Roomba. It's one of the shark ones, and it's just dumb and annoying. So we got to let it bonk around into the bed and the wooden platform that we have the bed on, and the hoist and my dignity and all that crap that's just strewn about the living room now. So now, speaking of dignity being strewn about someplace, the Maserati Grecale has been announced. It is a new compact crossover that will be debuting next year.
The what?
The Maserati Grecale.
Yes.
Grecal.
E.
Maserati Grecal.
Yep.
It's the Grecal and Hyde.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't gonna go there because it was just too much of a low hanging fruit. But you went there.
You know what? I'm short. I can reach it.
There it is. He got that mini novelty bat from his local AA club. He's gonna take a swing at it.
I know how to use a lacrosse stick.
Attaboy.
Anyway, it is going to be a smaller SUV. It's probably going to be their volume SUV. It is named after a wind, as Maserati is wont to do. But it's pretty much going to be an Alfa Romeo Stelvio reworked up to be a Maserati because it's being built in the same plant as the Stelvio. And it's going to be a smaller SUV, which kind of tells me it's going to be a Stelvio. But that said, reliability issues aside, I friggin' love the Stelvio.
Oh God, I want a Stelvio Quattrofolio, white exterior, porn star red interior. Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember that dream we had about running a porn empire and me being the face of it? That's what I'd be driving if we actually made that happen.
I think I distinctly remember silent partner. Silent partner.
Well, it's never going to happen. Listen.
He's
Don't
got the
worry.
fold-down tray.
Hey,
Don't worry.
you don't know if I've been laying the groundwork for the last 8 years, all right?
I mean, I feel like
You don't know me.
I feel like you could have, let your stool pigeon know. Let the fall guy know.
I just see Mike retrofitting like airplane-style fold-down trays on the backs of the front seats so you can line up your Coke.
You get like a mirror at the DI and you just duct tape it on and
like the
put it on some on a Home Depot hinge, just blind riveted to the back of the seat.
No, when I shot photos of Derek Edgington's Jalpa, you would flip the sun visor down and then there would be a mirror that you pulled out like a little hand mirror. And you knew exactly what that was for. That's what I'd be putting in the Stelvio.
White on white. I mean, yeah, it was all cocaine white.
May or may not have been bricks,
including the mirror.
Brilliant.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, that's a thing you'll be able to buy next year or in a couple years or whenever. Who knows?
But speaking of a Maserati you can buy, the MC20 debuted. It is their mid-engine supercar. It is 621 horsepower. We talked about the motor a couple weeks ago. Twin turbo V6. It is exclusive to Maserati. It is interesting looking at it. It looks really tiny.
It looks like an i8 and a McLaren had a baby.
The best part is when the doors open up. They open up.
Yes.
Didn't we phase out Lambo doors in the early 2000s?
How fucking dare you? No. Some of us are still tasteless assholes.
Look, hey, if I rocked an Escalade, it would still have spinners, all right?
Oh, God.
Just saying.
And we'd refer to it as the Escalade. Man.
And when the wheels stop, the rims keep spinning. Yeah.
Oh, God, it's the Hustlemobile.
no, it has to have those lights. What are they? They were popular at SEMA. They're like the valve stem lights. When it spins, it like has text.
Yes,
it's strewn across your wheel.
Oh my
God! Back wheel hustle, front wheel mode, hustle mode. That's right.
God.
I'm embarrassing myself. Anyway.
This is brilliant. This is peak you.
This is coming from the man who doesn't like pop-up headlights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because these doors are functional and spinners are awesome. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Yes, so it is the MC20. It does look kind of small. It does have those butterfly doors, which are awesome, but it does have some references to the MC12, which is far and away more gorgeous than the Ferrari Enzo that it's based on.
Seriously.
Oh, shit, no, I was wrong. They're not Lambo doors. They're those weird what had them? The AMG McLaren had them on those. They're like up and forward, like not quite gull wings. They're like eagle wing doors. Okay. Well,
they're a lot more functional than the i8 stores. The i8 stores are obnoxious to try and get in. This actually is helpful. Like
definitely more tasteful than I had previously stated. I retract my statement.
So I think fourth time. It looks kind of small in pictures, but it is bigger than the pictures lead on to because the car stretches 184 inches compared to the Huracan, which is 176.
Damn.
So it's 8 inches longer than a Huracan, 12 inches longer than a Cayman. It is an inch wider than a Huracan and 2 inches taller than a Huracan, and about 1,200 or 120 pounds rather lighter than a Huracan.
Wow.
So
Right.
for those of you playing the home game, 184 inches is 15 feet.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. When
Can you
when
put a
put it like
Bentayga in the
that-
trunk?
No,
Well, let's see,
the trunk is 1.8 cubic feet in the front and 3.5 cubic feet in the trunk, and that's tiny. If you didn't know,
It's not big, no, not ideal, but
So is it just mostly cabin then?
it is a lot of cabin. So the
it really
for
looks like
reference, Mike will be able to put this in context. The S2000, the
Yes.
trunk in that is 5 cubic feet.
yes,
So
there's not a lot of
This is smaller by 1.5 cubes in the trunk,
yeah.
and then you add 1.8 in the front. But yeah, it's not significant.
Yeah, no, it is tiny.
Yeah.
So
But
So
yeah,
it's
you've
just-
got the
it's just
cabin,
all
you've got the
cabin
motor in the
then.
middle. Well, yeah, you've got the motor in the middle. It's mid-engine, so
That's true.
yeah,
it doesn't have a very long front overhang, and so I mean that takes up a lot of the space. All right,
She's
it's
not leggy.
physics.
She's all torso.
Yes.
you
But
know
yeah,
how we
it
like
is-
them all torso.
Oh god.
Oh, anyway, yeah. Even though it's a small 2-seater, it has two 10-inch screens in there. Maserati's new multimedia system, for some reason, they named it MIA because one day it's going to turn up MIA because it's a Maserati.
Hey,
But yeah, it does. It says 0 to 62 rather in 2.9 seconds. So properly quick according to AJ.
That is relatively quick, actually.
yeah,
That's quite nice.
Um,
I like that
but-
it's not a like a track car. Like it's actually got some like decent interior luxury to it.
Yeah.
Yes, they are going to debut the track version of it somewhat soon, but this is the street version, which is unusual. They usually debut the track version.
yeah. This is a fun twist that I enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoy it as well. It is designed for electric power, so at some point you will see an electric version of it. But you know what? It has a mechanical limited slip on it, so that's
Ooh.
good news. None of that electronic crap or
None of this. My brakes are doing the stuff my diff should be doing.
right. But yeah, it does. Maserati has repeatedly hinted it plans to put the MC20 in motorsports events, so you can expect the race version somewhat soon because they want to get it out there and get it racing.
Yeah.
But it's just the start of Maserati's new product line. They're coming out. They've already teased that they're coming out with a new Gran Turismo before the end of this year, or showing it off rather. But this MC20 will arrive in 2022.
And then
Why didn't they
They-
call it the MC 2020 or 22 then?
I don't know.
Why did they call the 2004 S2000 an S2000 instead of an S2200?
Touche.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Anyway, speaking of electric version, there is the Lucid Air sedan that debuted.
did we even talk about the fact that they designed the MC20 for electric use as well?
I did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, Trent said there'd be an electric version.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Trent's on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to not pay attention to your own podcast, Mike.
I don't
Um,
listen to this thing. Are you kidding me? What
It's
makes
called
you
being
think
present. You're being an active listener.
Hmm.
Come on.
I do that enough at work. I don't need this here. God.
We're
Oh,
here
I
to
know-
berate you, all right?
I remember why I like this car so much.
Let's hear it.
This Lucid Air sedan. A couple years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, they had I believe it was a prototype or like a whatever the the pre-prototype model was, but
Mhm.
they were demoing their headlights, and all of the little dots of the headlights are individual little like cubes, and they all like flip out in
Oh.
Yeah.
succession.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I remember seeing that.
I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it's quite the vehicle, though. 500-mile range, 0 to 60 in under 2.5 seconds, quarter mile in 9.9 seconds.
Dang.
Shit.
That
That is quick.
Yeah.
Just as a perspective, Mike Finnegan's blasphemy is sub 10s in the quarter. Like that's fast.
Yeah.
It starts below 80,000. Obviously not the one that you get all that amazing horsepower in, which is 1,080 horsepower is what it's rated at.
Huh.
And if its quickest charge using its Wonderbox charging unit and native 900-volt charging support system, it can do 300 miles of range in 20 minutes of charging.
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty ridiculous. And the funny thing is, like, I got some serious laughter out of this. The Utah Tesla group posted about this. They're like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know?
Yep.
And somebody's response was, yeah, let's see if they can mass produce it and keep the quality up. Like,
What?
Tesla hasn't done that.
Yeah. They've demonstrated that they can only do one of those things, and not terribly well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, as
I
far
didn't
as
know. Go
stepping over that bar, sorry, Mike. As far as stepping over that bar, they don't have to step very high.
No,
Yeah.
it's a real low bar, so much so that you could trip over it.
Yeah.
I would absolutely buy this thing over a Tesla.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't know this,
100%.
but the CEO, Peter Rawlinson, he had stints at Lotus and Jaguar as an engineer before Elon poached him to work on the Model S. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And now he's with Lucid. Yep.
Yeah, so now, yeah, it makes sense that this thing kicks a lot of ass. So,
Oh, that interior is just gorgeous.
Yeah. So the Dream Edition is the one that gets 1,080 horsepower. That will be available next spring, starting at $169,000, which is not that far off the Tesla Model S 100D.
yeah, I mean, 1,000 horsepower for 170 grand. I mean, that's not bad. I'll take that.
Yeah. And the Dream Edition, though, gets 465 or 503 miles, depending on your wheel and tire choice.
Ooh.
It's the 800 horsepower version, only 800 horsepower version, that gets the full 517 miles of range. And it comes standard with LiDAR on it, which is crazy. And
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this thing.
Yeah.
This is the future.
Yeah.
And it's not unhandsome. I wouldn't call it handsome, but
No, like-
it's not ugly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's what's the word I'm looking for? I can't quite find it.
It looks like something that if you were playing Grand Theft Auto, you would go out of your way to steal this thing.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't. Sorry.
Sorry, I keep cutting everybody off. It's very like Total Recall, Minority Report, like near distant future,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially
is.
with like the windshield that goes all the way over your head, and then the sun visors just kind of sprout out of the windshield.
Yeah. That's like the Model X does. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
But well, actually, now looking at that picture, yeah, that is crazy because the Model X, I think, is like mounted on the pillars. I don't think it's mounted to the glass, which is interesting. The biggest design thing that bothers me is the rear 3/4, that line that outlines the
Yeah.
trunk.
Ooh, yeah,
that's not a line I'm liking, but the rest of it I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't necessarily like the whole light beam up front, but I mean it's not offensive.
No, it's not. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's not bad. It's not great. This is definitely like 6.5, 7. So, it passes.
I mean, I could see Audi designing an A6, sticking 4 rings on the front of that, and being like, okay, yeah, I see it.
I like that. It's got that like. Let me write my words here. It doesn't look.
You're not feeling the words tonight, are you?
Dude, I'm drinking 101 on an empty stomach. Like,
word good.
Well, hey, I'm drinking Diet Pepsi Wild Cherry, all right, on a full stomach. So, look, don't brag to me.
I'm about to go grab my 3rd and 4th beers of the night.
I'm just glad I can get multiple syllables together without them falling out of my head. It doesn't have that like Tesla-esque front end where like there should be a grill, but there's no grill. Like the front end just looks seamless.
It does.
And you look at it and you go, oh, it's got no grill, but you don't really recognize it at first because it's kind of...
Exactly. It's not like Tesla where they tack on this no grill to make it extremely obvious that a grill should go here.
Yeah, well, and if Tesla just smoothed out the nose, it would just look proper, but they put that faux like grill over the front of it. It looks like that scene in The Matrix when they cover Neo's mouth so he can't talk, and then they put the thing in the tracker in his belly button.
Oh,
that's what it looks like. Am I
interesting?
Because it's just like something should be there, but it's not, and it makes your brain go.
Right.
Yeah,
there's something that should be there, but it's not.
Yeah, it's almost in like an like unnerving sort of way. Anyway, my drunken tangent is over.
Excellent. And now we can move on to a less drunken tangent about crab walking.
The Hummer's got crabs.
Yeah. Well, visit many ports of call and this is what happens.
I was like, I had that one preloaded and ready.
I could tell.
We kind of workshopped it beforehand.
You had one loaded in the chamber, and it's like a 7-pound trigger, and you had 6 pounds of pressure on there, and you were just like,
I was into that first stage of the trigger, waiting for the shot.
Anyway. Alakablam.
Yeah, so GMC confirmed it will reveal the Hummer off-roader October 20th, but they've released a video showing off crab mode, where it can use its 4-wheel steering to kind of shimmy off to the side, which, I mean, it would be cool if it was like a full-on crab mode, and it goes forward and sideways, but still, I mean, that adds a lot of maneuverability for a large vehicle, and you do get a little bit of a top view in the video, so I mean you can tell it's a pickup truck, and that's about it. But
I mean, it's going to be much easier to park at the grocery store like this.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably where most of the use of that will be is parking. But
parallel park it like a boss.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what you do. You, instead of showing off its off-road capabilities, be like, hey, check this out.
Look what I can do.
Parked it. Yeah, I guess Tesla's doing that anyway with the summon mode, which I always thought was a kind of a stupid gimmick, but
it really is.
How does the rear turning axle work on this? Like, what's the
magic,
the apparatus? Because to me, the engineer in me looks at that and goes, "Well, that's a lot of weight over that turning axle. That's a very, very specific failure point, and it's GM. So it's not a matter of if it fails; it's when."
No. Hey, give GM some credit. The electronics will fail long before the part fails, all right?
Yeah.
You're right.
That interior is going to go to shit long before you got to worry about either of those guys, so don't worry.
We actually have that discussion a lot between my wife and I because we have we used to have a GMC Yukon and now we have a Honda Pilot. And the Yukon seats were incredibly comfortable, but they did not hold up well.
Oh, Lord, no.
They looked like they had some use.
How many cracks were in the dashboard?
None, actually.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a surprise.
But we did have numerous electrical failures that fortunately were covered under a warranty that we purchased. The Honda seats are incredibly hard and uncomfortable for super long drives, but they're going to hold up forever. So that's what you pay for.
This is your seat. It is your seat forever.
Who's going to buy this thing? I mean, realistically, so they say in the article, they say this is very much going to be a luxury vehicle which competes against a broad spectrum, which, thank you for being so vague. But if it's a luxury vehicle, then just buy a G-Wagon with locking diffs, and if it's going after the Jeep knows what it is and where it's coming from. I'd much rather have a Gladiator than...
So
So if you look at the next paragraph down, it says the Hummer will take aim at a variety of vehicles, including the four-door Bronco, Rivian's truck, which I think is its more direct competitor, and the Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Forksy, yes.
Isn't that the name of Elon Musk's kid?
Oh, that's Space Kyle.
Oh, that's right. something Oxcart.
I'm here, Space Kyle. Space Kyle Oxcart. Alpha. Whatever.
Alpha.
I don't know what you guys are saying, but who died of dysentery?
Everyone on the Oregon Trail.
Space Kyle Oxcart Foxtrot Epsilon. May he rest in peace.
That was my frat in college.
Jesus.
Oh, AJ, why do I drink before coming on here?
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder why I haven't been drinking more during these.
Which one's the Rivian? Is the Rivian the one with the space in the middle for giant 2x4s?
Yes.
Okay.
It has space like in the side where you can like stuff things across the width of the vehicle.
And that's the one.
Yeah, and it's not the one that can fit like 100 4x8 sheets. That's the
Rivian's
too many
the
electric
one.
trucks.
I know which one you're talking about. It's got like
the Rivian looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
it does. It's got those weird like it's like the catfish looking.
Yeah.
Like oblong ovals on the front of it.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. So they're going after it's going up to compete against a concept truck and a Jeep Wrangler that doesn't exist yet.
Well, I mean, the Jeep Wrangler will exist very soon, and then the Rivian apparently will exist soon, but we have yet to see it. So see a production version. So.
It's still vaporware as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So what? They're making an electric Rubicon? Sorry, I'm going off on an ADHD tangent. My Adderall ran out.
Yes, they are doing a. We talked about last week a plug-in hybrid.
That's right.
Wrangler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm having my Adderall ran out for the day, so with my ADHD.
Well, it sounds like you need to get
back.
yourself some hustle-focused energy.
I do. I have a caffeine addiction that I'm very proud of.
Well, congratulations. Are you going for a record of some sort?
No, I just self-medicate.
Can you see time?
No, but I can hear shapes.
There we go.
Speaking of hearing shapes, the new Bronco.
Speaking of some high-level fuckery, which this podcast has been.
No, because the Bronco's a square and it'll have a V8, so you'll be able to hear it. It all ties in.
about that.
No, it won't have a V8 because of them dadgum emissions.
Because God hates us, and this is his punishment for our hubris.
Oh God.
Yeah. Apparently, the Earth is more
Lord in
important
heaven.
than a V8 Bronco.
Not
Mother Nature
according to the environmentalists in California, but that's neither here nor there.
Mother Nature started this fight for survival, and now she wants to take a break because she's tired.
Oh,
Oh,
we've got a visitor. Hold on.
We do? Do we?
is it going to be my my second pupper
It's
of the day?
Lucy.
Oh, hi, Lucy. Hi, puppy. Hi. Aw.
Say hi.
Nope.
For all those watching on the YouTube, you just got yourself a delightful treat.
Yep.
Oh, AJ might be grabbing something. Oh, it's a Lucyception.
Lucy number 2. Over there. Look over there.
I think your Lucy came first, right?
I'm not sure.
This one's like 6-7 months old.
I got this.
Yeah, she's 9.
Okay. Hey, Mike. Yeah. Way to join the party.
I don't know. I can't be trusted to keep another living thing alive, so I have a hard enough time keeping myself going. So Lego Magic Carpet is.
All right. Well, the door automatically closes when she comes down, so I've got to go open it for her, or else she'll just start whining.
Alrighty. So, real quick, so the Bronco will show up with some decent power, 310 horsepower. It's not bad. Let's see. Jeff Seaman, Ford's Global Programming Manager, says if the customer experience was significantly enhanced with a Coyote engine, it would have been under serious consideration. In all honesty, that EcoBoost motor is damn good. And whenever you get out of it, you don't say, I wish it had a bigger engine.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you always do.
Yeah.
Imagine that Coyote with a couple hair dryers on it.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now, it does leave the door open, though, for a hotter EcoBoost, though, because it is the 2.7 that's in there. And you know they're going to do a Raptor version, so a 3.5 is just like waiting to show up. I mean,
Yep, there is that. And I mean, if you really want the V8, I mean, Hennessy's already slamming the Coyote into the F-150 Raptor, so, you know, I'm sure they'll do it for you too.
The aftermarket will definitely answer this call.
Yep.
Well, and aren't they throwing the V8 back into the Shelby Raptor in answer to the T-Rex?
As of right now, no. It's still an EcoBoost.
Oh, really?
But
yeah,
it's always a possibility. Now, they may have a higher tier or something, but the standard Shelby Raptor at like $100,000 plus is just a EcoBoost modified.
See, if I'm paying $100,000 for a truck, though, I'd rather have a V8.
Well, of course, wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the EcoBoost is a great idea, and I mean, you know, all of the Mustang fanboys who like it, that's good for you. You know, live your truth, but it's not doing it for me.
Although I do want to take this moment to point out that hi Lucy.
You're getting around 2, apparently.
Yay.
Oh.
Justin Pollock in Formula Drift, his Mustang is powered by just a crate Coyote with a supercharger, and it makes like 1,000 horsepower. All he does
God intended.
Yeah, all he does is he cracks open the crate, he puts the motor in, and then away he goes.
Put that in the Bronco.
Yeah,
there you
just
go.
do that.
Nobody wants turbo lag while you're trying to get up fins and things at Moab.
Yeah,
right. You get it. Why aren't you a Ford engineer, AJ?
Because I like Dodge better.
Why aren't you
Fair
making?
enough.
Why aren't you?
And they make the smart decisions with their V8.
They do indeed.
Put it in everything that keeps growing to the size of the state of Delaware.
It's too bad that they killed off the Caravan, because I would be on board for a Caravan Hellcat.
I would absolutely be all over a Caravan Hellcat.
Tell me
Can we mid-mount it? Can we mid-mount the Caravan Hellcat?
Well, I mean,
We
like,
can just buy a Caravan and do it. I mean,
sure. I mean, listen, we can find a Caravan for cheap. We can find something with either just the naturally aspirated big boy V8 or, I don't know, maybe a Hellcat mill that has been wrapped around a tree for cheap. We can make the two happen. I got a Sawzall. I'm sure we know somebody who could weld.
I think we could DIY it for under 30 grand.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the most expensive part is going to be...
I think those motors are going for like 15 grand used.
Listen, I'm sure we could... The most expensive part of this is going to be getting that engine. Because a Caravan you can catch for $500 all day.
Well, okay. I mean, we're talking something that...
Okay.
is from this era.
Okay. I'm sorry. $3,000.
Can we just knock over a transport truck and get a Elephant and put that in a Caravan?
Sure. Why not?
Dude, they haven't shipped those, have they? They said they were going to ship them last year, and they never did.
Okay, well then we'll get one out of the factory. I can pick a lock.
Yeah, we'll go.
Got a truck. Trent's got a truck.
Yeah.
Mike, can you drive a forklift?
Hey,
sure, why not?
Or Golden.
But don't put the Ram truck stealing the Elephant motor, because then, well, actually that might work, because then they'll think it's internal. I was gonna say be nondescript and put it in the back of a Mazda 5, but
no.
What color is your Ram?
White.
Oh, perfect. We'll just get a Dodge decal, slap it on the side.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is pearl white. Just saying, it's not construction white.
It's not rental white. Okay,
Yeah,
well
whatever.
we'll dirty it up. We'll slap on a Dodge decal on the side of it.
We'll wrap a fender in like the weird camo pattern or whatever. Like we're testing out some new fender or some ridiculousness. And then away we go. Problem solved. We're done.
I'm glad you guys have it all figured out.
Elephant Caravan coming to a YouTube near you.
Where did they get that motor? It fell off the back of a truck.
You're asking a lot of questions. You need to stop.
Speaking of questions we should be asking, why are we getting the Ford Ranger Tremor and not the Ford Ranger Raptor?
Because God is punishing us for our hubris. As Americans, we thought we were the top of the pile, but lo and behold.
Nope. Apparently Mother Nature's undefeated.
Mother Nature and the internet, undefeated as always.
So Ford announced the Ranger Tremor, as you might have guessed by that. They give you some off-road goodies, some shocks, some more tire. It now has 9.7 inches of ground clearance, increase of like 0.8, I think it said.
Oh boy.
The funny thing is that only puts it at an inch more ground clearance than a Subaru Outback. This is after they've put 32s on it and changed the suspension, and
so
it's now only an inch taller than an Outback.
So you're telling me that, God, all right. So this thing is going to run you $40,000.
Oh, at least.
Well, I'm looking at the last line of the story, and it says you're looking at a base price of just over $40,000 for an otherwise bare bones Ranger Tremor.
Yeah.
Imagine what kind of ridiculous bullshit Subaru Outback you could build for $40,000.
Well, I mean, if you're buying new for new, it's gonna be pretty close.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, listen. That is a fun little thing to point out that it is, about the same.
I mean, if you're gonna say
Outback,
used,
but
if you're gonna say used Outback, then you could buy a Jeep XJ for $1,000 and put $39,000 into it and be this most ridiculous thing ever.
You could do a bunch of ridiculous stuff, but saying that it is an inch more ground clearance than an Outback, it's like, okay, yeah, that's also like saying, apples and tomatoes are both fruits, but they're really not interchangeable. They're not same. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous to think, though, because one, that's ridiculous for the Outback that it has that much ground clearance, and two, that the factory, off-road version isn't that much different than an Outback. Like, it's just, I realized it's apples and oranges. It was just very interesting to me.
It is a very, it is apples and oranges, but it is a very interesting thing to point out. And also, I would like to point out,
you get a little puck lift like they do with those Subarus anyway, and it's going to be taller.
Damn right. Also, the Subaru Outback, it looks to be about the size of a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier.
When they first came out with the latest body style, I was like, what is that thing? Like, it looks
way
ridiculous.
Too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is comical. You remember my Outback, right?
I ever?
That thing looked like a car. And now it's just like, well, here's a whole bunch of metal. Have fun.
It looked like a car, and it shook like magic fingers.
Damn right.
In a hotel bedroom.
Yeah. And it would find curbs in a snow-filled parking lot like nobody's business. And throw a giant Scandinavian man into a fucking snowbank.
Yes.
And
anyway, so the good news is this Tremor package doesn't affect payload and towing capacity, so that's good. That's the one downside to the Ram Power Wagon, and why I did not get a Power Wagon, because it significantly decreases the towing capacity. So.
Yeah, but the Power Wagon is a boss off-road.
It is, and I mostly drive on road, so yeah. Oh.
AJ, are we switching to wine?
No, we're tasting a new wine.
Oh, all right. Well, meanwhile, Michael Chandler.
I'm sorry, I've finished my Pepsi. I apologize.
My complaint is that they took the Ranger, which was a mini truck, and everybody liked it for being a mini truck, based it off the F-150 chassis, but are still trying to pass it off as a mini truck.
Yeah, that's kind of the rub.
I would actually. Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and also the one we're getting is like pretty long in the tooth compared to the one the rest of the world is getting.
I'd be willing to say that I would enjoy it more if it was slightly smaller.
Well, yeah, I think.
I mean, if you could get it only as a whatever the not the double cab, but the smaller one where it's got like the little half door in the back with the folding seats.
Yeah,
like extended cab or whatever.
Yeah, extended cab. Make it a little bit shorter, make it a little bit smaller, and treat it like a mini truck. Maybe slash, $5,000 off the price and put it into the market where, the Ranger excelled before, which was a small pickup truck for people who wanted a bed but didn't want a giant ass, 3/4 ton truck.
Yeah, like they need to throw like bags of mulch and stuff in the back, not 2,000 pounds of broken cinder block being dropped from 20 feet above the bed.
But you realize
want to
why
make an IKEA run.
You realize why they do this, right?
Why?
They purposely are trying to sell more F-150s so that they can be the most popular truck ever. People come in for the Ranger, like, oh, I want a small truck. Oh, but I can get a fully capable F-150 for like $1,000 more after discounts?
So what's the point of the fucking Ranger?
To sell more F-150s.
It exists only to die, AJ. It exists only to be killed. It is the sacrifice. It is a sacrifice, and it knows its duty.
Like, I honestly think that they are keeping mini trucks off of the U.S. market just because they know that the people would stop buying F-150s in favor of the mini trucks. All the people that want the smaller truck, the smallest thing you can get right now is the F-150, they'd all jump to mini trucks.
I don't know. I think you overstate how many people want a mini truck. Like, yes, there is a market for it. Believe me, there is. But I think most people want the big truck for the feeling Whether they ever actually need it or use it, absolutely different story. But
I mean, but the people buying most of the F-150s that I see on the road are the double cab with the short bed option, which is just a people mover at that point. And then they get the
Right.
platinum trim, which, you know, sits like what, half an inch lower and comes with a inch larger wheels, the premium wheels, which you're obviously not going to take that to the, you know, construction site or the lumber mill or whatever, because you risk scratching up the chrome.
it's to tow their boat once a year and to feel like a boss. All right.
It is to do the weird thing where you flex on somebody by saying you spent 80 grand on an F-150. It's
the way of the world, AJ. You don't have to choose to be a part of it. Just the way it is.
You know what? Here's what I'm thinking. Total sidebar. To better
Sure.
understand truck people, I think we need to talk to a truck person, and specifically somebody who slings truck parts. So I'm going to try to get a hold of Jenny from JRH Performance, because she, longtime friend of the program, back when she had her slammed Fozzie, and now she's got some like 2500 Ram that looks pretty cool, I will have to admit. But yeah, I think she could provide some insight.
Didn't she get rid of the 3/4 ton truck and went to a Ram 1500
or something? I don't know. I haven't seen her pop up as much on the old Instagram feed, so I'm a little hazy. Jenny, if you're out there listening, let us know what the deal is. I'm a mediocre friend at best.
I would know.
God, what? It's been 16 years? You've been putting up with my bullshit?
I set the bar very low for friendship.
This is true.
AJ's right there to be slotted in as best friend, and we've never met in person. So
perfect. Well, all best friends need a clubhouse, and guess what? You could buy the McLaren HQ for $256 million. That would make a kick-ass clubhouse.
Yes, it would.
Right? Sure.
Yeah, so it's not totally uncommon. People are like posted about this and are like, the death of McLaren is near. But that is not the case. This is not an uncommon practice. I'm not going to say it's common, but it's not uncommon that they're selling their headquarters to shore up their bank accounts and then leasing it back from whoever buys it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a smart business plan.
Yeah, it's something that if you need the cash, like, why not? And then at some point, they'll put in the contract that they can buy it back. Obviously, they're going to be paying interest along the way. Whoever buys it is going to make money on this deal. That's just what and that's the only reason you'd buy it.
Yeah. Plus, you get keys to arguably one of the coolest, like, homes of an F1 team. You know, the Woking facility is awesome. There's a giant reflecting pond out in front of it. You walk in, you're greeted by some of the greatest F1 cars and Can-Am cars to ever grace God's green tarmac.
Yeah.
Who wants to go halfsies with me?
I can go like a millionth with you.
I got 5 on it.
$6. Yeah, I'll put $256 into this.
There you go.
Let's start a GoFundMe.
How big is it? If everybody in the Cam Shenanigans group put in
yes, the people who say I want this shirt and then we make them this shirt and then they don't buy this shirt.
They're good for it, all right?
Yeah. The people
Dude,
giving you an
paycheck.
IOU for your birthday.
Next paycheck, I swear.
Okay.
The Cam Shenanigans group is the people who would be walking, be like, I got you next payday. And then the next payday, you see them walking out of the convenience store with just scratch-off tickets. Just coming out of every pocket.
No. We're not that smart. We spent the paycheck on the knockoff Yeezys, all right?
Hey, there it is. Hit up Wish. Here we go.
So many Supreme stickers.
So I'm just
Supreme stickers with one E.
No. SUPREEM. Supreme. Anyway, I'm glad you two are drunk enough to think that was funny. Rough math. You're looking at about an equal contribution of about 6.4 million each for the shenanigans to buy Woking. So,
Well, guys, let's get
All
on
right. Start that GoFundMe.
it. Hit us up on Patreon.
Yeah. The Woking level. We just moved
even
this
at
whole
15 grand a month. It's gonna take a minute.
It's gonna be a minute.
Maybe you guys will start that OnlyFans after all.
God.
Oh,
One of
nobody
my
wants what we're selling, AJ. Nobody wants what we're selling.
one of my coworkers said, "Well, why don't you find like a sugar mama?" And I'm like, I told her, I'm like, well, that's not gonna go over well. And she's like, you're too hard on yourself. You're a good-looking guy. And I'm like, yeah, also girlfriend. And she's like, oh, right. I'm like, well, yeah, thanks. Anyway. Well, that's the end of the news.
If anybody wants to adopt Mike as their sugar baby with no physical intimacy involved, he is available.
I'll wear the gray sweatpants around, but that's about it.
Oh, wow. This is an episode.
This indeed is. And we're finally done with the news, and we're on to the shenanigans question of the week.
Oh,
It
God.
wasn't even that action-packed in the news. But
Yeah, not the shenanigans question, the regular old question of the week, the one that featured a totally unrelated photo. Because
of your Integra from Forza.
With my terrible McLaren knockoff livery, which is actually completely wrong. It's pointed the wrong way. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, so from AJ, he sent this in as a TDC because apparently you people are not so hot on like murdering a well-known racing person. So,
but
cowards.
AJ, you always complain about not getting your TDCs in, and we decide to do your TDC, and you're here.
Yeah,
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah. So
we do like you, apparently.
You like me. You really like me.
Yeah, we like him so much that I'm dragging him through Forza Horizon 4, getting him nice and leveled up.
And getting donuted on by a purple Challenger.
Some random dude in a Hellcat. It's me and AJ are in our Series 1 Range Rovers. Just doing barn finds. Yeah,
somebody decided to show you up?
Just starts pulling donuts on us.
Yeah, shooting fire. I took a couple pictures of it.
That was great.
Because this is what my photography has turned into. A decade of actually shooting at the track, and now it's just like, well, I could take a cool picture in Horizon. That's where I'm at. As I'm using my camera bag as a fucking beer stand. Anyway, so AJ put out the question of track daily crush, the Kia Telluride, the Hyundai Palisade, or the Ford Explorer. I will point out he did not specify any trim level, so I just kind of let you freestyle it. So,
and I have an answer for this.
Okay, Trent, what do you got?
I am going to daily the Palisade because it's more luxurious than the Kia, and it has that cool little, turn signal thing, and the camera pops up in your gauge cluster. Like, that's cool enough as is. Plus, I want my interior to smell like socks. So,
well, who doesn't? Listen,
I would get the light interior.
Listen, when I was making dinner tonight, I was just palm heel striking garlic cloves left and right like a lunatic, so I'm cool with the smell.
I would crush the Telluride because it is very similar to the Palisade. And then I would track an ST Explorer because it is a rear-wheel drive platform. And you could get down with it with the EcoBoost. I'm all in on this.
And therein lies my mistake. I should have specified the non-ST version because make the ST version really does kind of take the fairness out of it.
Yep, but here you are.
You should have
But-
thought of that earlier.
You should have fucking
should've-
thought.
Well, to be fair, if the ST version was taken out of it, I still would have picked the Explorer for the rear-wheel drive-based platform
Fair
and
enough.
an EcoBoost motor.
Suddenly it goes from a lot of like ST Academy stuff to more like lemon sloppy mechanic shit.
Hey, I'd throw some knobbies on it and do some rallycross with it, you know?
Give me some paddles. I'll get stuck out at Little Sahara. I don't give a shit.
Dude, you wouldn't make it out of the parking lot.
Hey,
Doesn't have the ground clearance for that.
Mm.
not with that attitude. It's just throttle application will overcome a lot of your problems.
When in doubt, throttle out.
Damn right.
Anyway, AJ, do you have an answer for us?
I do.
I know you answered on Facebook, but you can answer here.
I'll give my Facebook answer and then we can just gloss over it when that time comes. I would daily the Telluride because while I haven't driven one, I have sat in one, and it is a rather nice place to be. It's not as luxurious as the Palisade, but Hyundai hasn't solidified their new kind of, reputation yet. So
See, you mentioned this, and I've got a bone to pick with this, but go on.
they're doing the same thing as Kia. They're trying to turn around their whole, brand and rid themselves of that reputation of being, the cheap little Korean car. But they still haven't. I feel like they still haven't gotten rid of their reputation yet. So if something's going to fail, I'd rather have it be on the track and then just tow it home with the Telluride. And then the Explorer can get crushed before it has a chance to disappoint me even farther.
Okay. Are you ready for my rebuttal?
I am.
Okay. You do realize that the Kia Telluride and the Hyundai Palisade are the exact same freaking car. So all your arguments about Hyundai's reliability applies directly to the Telluride. Same motor, same chassis. It's the same.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
That
One's
goes to show how
just
much I've been paying
positioned-
attention.
One's positioned a little bit sportier, the Telluride, and the Palisade is positioned a little bit more luxurious.
God, well,
That's
don't
the
I feel
difference.
stupid?
Just go ahead and give yourself one of those.
Attaboy. There you go.
he's
Longingly
going for the
into your
liquor.
cup.
Oh, don't I feel like an idiot now?
Oh. Oh, 101 and Dr. Pepper, you understand me.
Tell me a bedtime story, Wild Turkey.
I am going to. Okay, bye, Trent.
Trent's just out.
As I'm about to talk, he just disappears. All right.
It was
later.
about the dog. I had
Oh.
to make sure the dog got out. All
Well,
right.
okay, yeah, no, that's fine. You don't have to apologize for making
I
sure
didn't.
the
You
dog
didn't
is
have
okay.
to embarrass.
I'm sorry, you kind of.
Genuinely did not know that they were the exact same vehicle.
They are the exact same vehicle.
Yep. So, anyway, I am going to daily the Telluride just because I think it looks better than the Palisade. I'm going to
It
crush.
does look sharp. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that's really the only reason I'm choosing that Korean SUV over the other Korean SUV. And I'm going to crush the Palisade, and I am going to track the Explorer ST, or as Dave Kazarian pointed out, the police package, which actually I'm going to go with the police package, like push bar and everything. So
What kind of racing are you going to do with the push bar?
don't worry
Just
about it.
curious.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're asking a lot of questions. I'm going to need you to stop. Anyway, so we put this out there on the old Facebook and the Instagram, and I do want to jump over to Instagram real quick because I had somebody reach out and ask me if I had taken the picture, which is my bootleg McLaren Marlboro livery on my ITR. He asked me if I shot that the other day, and that person is, hold on, just wanted to shout them out specifically. That blue XB, he is I guess, a Forza Horizon player. So shout out to you there, buddy. Give us a follow on Twitch. So he's going to be watching the shenanigans on Thursday. But yeah, so that's really the only worthwhile response we got on Instagram. So shout out to you, that Blue XP. Anyway, back to Facebook. Andrew Jolly, track the Explorer, daily the Palisade, crush the Smell-U ride. Oh, because they God, on my way.
Wasn't the Palisade the only one that actually smelled? Like,
yes,
it's been documented more in the Palisade. The Telluride apparently still does get it, but not as much as the Palisade. And I had a dude give me the weirdest look today on my way home from work because he had a Palisade, and I was looking to see what color interior he had. And he caught me looking, and he just gave me the dirtiest look. So
there's worse things that you could be caught looking at.
Very true. Very true. Anyway, Dave Kazarian, track the Explorer ST or police package, daily the Telluride, crush the other thing. Chris Miller, who may or may not still be hanging out in chat, he says, daily the Hyundai, interior looks nice and appears it would ride nice. Track the Explorer ST, have the Sport and the Explorer can be tuned up to high power and a more track-ready suspension than the others. Crush the Telluride. Reality, the Palisade or the Telluride are almost interchangeable. Most in this segment, hard to tell the difference, and the Hyundai and Kia are basically copies of each other. Which, yeah, I mean, one's a little nicer than the other, one looks a little sharper than the other, so it's really kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Sawyer DeHart.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
That's the same number.
See, there you go. Got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get one past old Trent Bray there.
Oh. That was supposed to be a joke, obviously.
Old Mama Bray didn't raise no fool.
Mama raised an ugly boy, not a dumb one.
He was born on a day, but it wasn't yesterday. Anyway, Sawyer DeHart, track the Explorer because of the hot ST version, daily the Kia because it looks better than the Palisade, which I'm going to crush. Also, I'm not a fan of excess chrome. Let's see. Brandon Kuhn, daily the Exploder. Y'all are missing the traffic clearing potential of the black Steelies, an extra antenna, and a nice push bar.
So daily the police package.
Exactly. Track the Palisade, no major loss if I shove it into the Armco. Crush the Telluride because it just feels forgettable. Yep, I mean, there's a thread there with memes and such, but I'll get to that later. Riot Betts, I need you to come a little bit better here, friendo. Aren't the Kia and Hyundai largely the same car? Next time, TDC, Scion FRS, Toyota 86, Subaru BRZ. Listen, jackass, if you've got a better TDC, feel free to let us know.
He just did.
Oh, okay. Let's do that one real quick. So I'm going to daily the BRZ. I am going to track the FRS, and I'm going to crush the 86. Trent, what do you got?
I'm going to do the exact opposite.
Okay, AJ?
I'm going to split the difference and do the old switcheroony.
Okay, good. Good job. Good job.
Hey, you know what? At least when I fucked it up, it was in blind ignorance, all right? It wasn't out of spite.
There it is.
I claim insanity.
Perfect. All right, so that is that. I shared it on my personal page, but the only thing I got was Gavin asking me if the ST trim was included. He did not bother to provide another response. Also, by the way, Gavin, if you're listening, me and AJ miss you. You should join us on Twitch Thursday. We're having fun. And you should
just join us on one of these.
Either or, you know. It's always fun watching him get drunk and then run around in his shorts to get more booze.
Or take the pizza out of the oven or whatever it was.
Whatever it is. Either or. All right.
That's not a euphemism.
Man. Sometimes it's what you got to do. Man, this is the first time I've ever looked at another one of my Facebook pages, like through the business manager thing on Facebook on a desktop. It's weird seeing another thing there for the bold is too small. It's weird. Anyway, there is some racing news to get through. So, first up, Jimmy Johnson, after doing some iRacing with the IndyCar crew and doing a light test, he is going to be moving to IndyCar with Chip Ganassi Racing after he retires from NASCAR, which is at the end of this season. Jimmy Johnson is
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's an immensely talented driver. He started life in a trailer park in California. And now he is a 6-time Sprint Cup, Monster Energy Cup, Winston Cup, whatever cup you want to call it, champ.
He drinks from the cup.
He drinks from the cup and pisses excellence. He is Jimmy Johnson.
Just as long as he doesn't piss in his cup.
Damn right. Anyway.
He's going to have a blast with those right-hand turns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he did a test with Ganassi at the Speedway in July. And let's see, he's going to be doing 15 events next year. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Jimmy's he's a good dude. He's a class act, and I'm excited to see what he will do in IndyCar. I would like to see a bit more what Scott McLaughlin would do, but he's currently busy kicking the living shit out of everybody else in the Virgin Australia Supercar Series. So it's gonna be a minute before we see him in North American Open Wheel. Let's see. Taking a bit of the shine off of Ferrari's 1000th Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel announces that he is signing with Racing Point stroke Aston Martin for the 2021 F1 season. All those shots where we saw him talking to Big Daddy Stroll, turns out they were because he was going to be kicking Checo off the team. Just a friendly reminder, Sergio Perez Checo is the reason there's still a Racing Point / whatever the hell it is they're going to be calling themselves.
Yeah.
He put his money where his mouth is and saved the team. So
after that banking debacle,
after Vijay Mallya, Mr. I will go get like a $1,500 loan and put down my $1 million Ferrari as collateral just because I need to park it somewhere in New York for a week.
That was impressive.
That is a baller move. Pro tip out there: if you've got a crazy expensive Ferrari, you need to park it in New York for a couple of weeks. Go take a loan out on a bank. It'll work.
Or now you could just street park it, and there's nobody around anyway. So
this is very true. Speaking of F1, hey, they did some more racing this weekend at another Italian track, one that they had never gone to. They raced the Tuscan Grand Prix at Mugello, which is a very old school track in the sense that there is not much runoff like you see at some other tracks. Like it is track, outside curb, gravel trap. So if you go off at certain places, you're just kind of screwed. And F1 has never been to Mugello. F2, F3, Formula Renault 3.5, they have all been there. So some of the younger drivers have actually driven there fairly recently, but everybody kind of figured it out fairly well. I would like to say that a Ferrari did qualify in the top 5 despite their best efforts and their burgundy car. Charles Leclerc put it on P5 for the race. And man, the thing I said in the Utah 41 fans group, I can't wait to see Ferrari's special 1000th Grand Prix livery struggle to score points. Man, If it weren't for a couple of key things that I will get to in a minute, I don't think they would have scored any points. So, green lights go out for the first of 3 starts.
Yeah.
They make it through the first turn, which is an uphill, kind of off-camber right, and then you go through a couple of left-right chicanes, sort of. At that first chicane, Pierre Gasly was sandwiched between, I believe it was Kimi Räikkönen and somebody else, and he ended up getting taken out and taking out Max Verstappen and spinning Carlos Sainz around, and Sebastian Vettel ran over the front of Carlos Sainz's wing because he had no place else to go. Well, that brought out a safety car. Several hundred yards into the first lap, safety car. And the thing about Mugello is there's not... I mean, normally the safety car turns off its lights 3-4 turns before the final one. This one, pit entry is on the front straight. Like, you don't duck out off the final turn. You go around the final turn and then into the pit lane. So, safety car cuts its lights at the entrance to the last turn. And the drivers at the briefing on Friday were told, hey, if there is a safety car, here's what's going to happen. It's going to turn off its lights. Don't get racy until it ducks into the pits, and then you cannot overtake until pit exit, which is pretty much right after the start-finish line. So Valtteri Bottas is in the lead at this point, followed by Lewis Hamilton and some other people. Valtteri is weaving up and down the front straight. Meanwhile, 6 places back or whatever, George Russell is trying to get a gap so he can fucking launch, realizes this isn't going well. Esteban Ocon is right there, tries to do the same thing. That doesn't work. Meanwhile, behind him is Kevin Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi and Carlos Sainz, and Romain Grosjean is just kind of back there. Well, they hit the loud pedal. They go. They realize nobody else is going. Panic. And here's what ends up happening. Where did I write it down? Okay, so there's a concertina effect. Nicholas Latifi gets tagged by Antonio Giovinazzi. This causes him to stop and kind of go up over the top of Latifi's Williams. Carlos Sainz goes underneath Antonio's Alfa Romeo and kind of sends him into the wall. Kevin Magnussen, meantime, gets hit and goes careening across the track onto the inside. So there are 3 cars just done on the outside of the track. Meanwhile, Latifi's car, a lot of the bodywork is ripped off. Right rear, toast. He is limping around. I think 6 or 7 drivers got called to the steward's office after this to be reprimanded for not knowing the restart procedure, which everybody's saying that this is some problem with, like, Valtteri was not at fault. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Saying that this is Formula One and Liberty Media trying to just drum up more drama. Well, no. I mean, these are professional racing drivers in arguably the top tier of motorsport. They should be able to figure out a restart, and they should have listened at the Friday drivers meeting. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, so with 4 cars just toasted, we see a red flag for the 2nd week in a row. The second restart is a standing restart because that's something that they can handle. It goes smooth. But then shortly after, the Mercedes are told to stay off of the curbs because Valtteri came in, got new tires. One of his tires was super sketch. So they're like, hey, Lewis, could you stay off the curbs? And he's like, but it's faster to hit them. They're like, no. We told Valtteri the same thing. Bad things could happen. Remember Silverstone? You remember that. Coming across on 3 wheels. Yeah, we don't want that. Anyway, Lance Stroll did not get the memo. He got a puncture, goes across the gravel trap, has a really scary-looking wreck, kind of bends the car around, and, we get another red flag session. We got a lot of red flags because there's no real easy way for the recovery vehicles to get out there and get the cars. So, as they're trying to grab Lance Stroll's car, which is still on fire as they found out. So at some point, there was a flaming F1 car being held up by a crane.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. Just a bunch of Italian dudes ripping off bodywork and hitting it with fire extinguishers.
Oh,
Yep.
Did somebody in the booth have the right mind to start playing Benny Hill music over the PA?
Tragically, no. But I will say there were actually fans here because Ferrari owns Mugello. So they let some people in, and they look to be fairly socially distant, but whatever. Anyway, long and short of it, it looked like we were going to see George Russell score his first points and Alex Albon get his first podium. Well, one of those things happened, and that was Alex Albon getting his first podium. He finished third. He is never putting that trophy down. It is well-deserved. He is a very talented driver. Everybody on Red Bull pales in comparison to Max Verstappen because he is fucking unreal as a talent. So anybody you put next to him is going to look terrible. The fact that Albon is doing as well as he is next to him, that speaks volumes to Alex Albon. George Russell, unfortunately, he was hanging on to P9 and then dropped to 10. And then, Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion, clawed his way up into the points. So, despite their best efforts, Ferrari got a double points finish at a track that they own. So, I'm sure I'm missing some stuff.
Let the conspiracy theories begin.
Oh boy.
Done.
People out there have been asking whether or not F1 should go back to Mugello. I say yes. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that nobody understands how to do a sports car style restart, which is what Valtteri basically did, and, Lance Stroll yeeting himself across the gravel trap into, a very idyllic tire barrier. There were big shady trees right there. It was very pretty. Aside from that, it would have been fairly boring. There's really not a lot of room for overtaking except for at the end of the front straight, which is the only DRS zone. So, I don't know. I think it could be an interesting place to see them race. Not because wrecks or whatever, but I don't know. I think you could see somebody try to get wild in some of those turns, some of those final few turns. So, yeah, there we go. That's Formula One as we brought it to you poorly, but that's what we do.
Well, that's what happens when Dad has family stuff to go to do.
Listen, I missed a healthy chunk of the race because me and the girlfriend were driving down to Draper to get breakfast. So that's just how it went.
Solid Easter time.
What did you get?
We went to Penny Ann's. She got chicken fried steak. I got the smothered breakfast burrito.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it's a regular breakfast burrito. I got bacon in it because, I'm fucking basic like that. But the burrito is the size of...
you're a man of class and taste.
This is very true. The burrito was the size of a football. And instead of toast or pancakes, she got a scone, which was the size of a toilet seat. So, yeah. Our waitress was very nice. She was very playful. She had a weird bruise kind of right here on the bottom of her neck. So, very specific bruise. I will let you figure out what that was. I have my own opinions on what it was, which, shout out to her. Rockin' no shame.
I was going to say, define playful?
Mm-hmm.
So, she kept bringing me coffee.
Wait. I'm just asking. Were you the one who gave her the bruise, Mike? On her neck?
The bruise that some could say was possibly a hickey. No, tragically, it was not me. So, I mean,
in front of your girlfriend and everything. I mean,
yeah, that really would have been weird, and I don't think I would be here right now. So, fairly confident her sister would have killed me.
So she kept bringing you coffee and what?
She kept bringing me coffee and being like, yeah, I make a damn good cup of coffee, don't I? Nobody else here can do shit. And I'm like, all right, good for you.
Alrighty. That
Like,
sounds
see,
less playful and more resentful.
It was one
I put the instant powder in before the water rather than, after. So, I mean, I don't know anything about coffee. I don't know.
It's okay. That's why I'm here.
I line the Keurig cup up so that all the letters are upright.
Oh, see,
Attaboy.
you and I do that with my hot chocolate on the Keurig.
There you go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm here just like cracking
Leaning
open the
tower of beer.
Yep, that's what I do. So, listen, let's get to the shenanigans question. So over the weekend, I baked cookies, I made wings, and then this morning my foot and ankle hurt to the point where I almost fell over at work trying to get up out of my chair to go do something, which is why they told me to go home early. So, go me. So, I asked the question, at what age did your body start betraying you? And boy, howdy. I remember very, very clearly it was the stereotypical thing. I crested 30, and man, it was a whole different ball game. So, real quick, fellow panelists, at what age did your body start betraying you?
I'm going to go with the answer that is going to piss somebody off. But my body was going downhill because I allowed it, and then I made a change, and now I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm at 35. So if your body's betraying you, it may have been related to previous engagements, such as skateboarding, like Mike is wont to do. And
Skateboarding, being fat while.
Yeah, so anyway, moving on.
All right.
I'm not looking forward to hitting 30 anymore. I mean, not that I was,
Why were
but
you? Yeah.
not
Good.
No,
not that I was, but I'm even less now.
Yeah,
Once you hit 25, you're good. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the high point.
That's the peak, man. Like, everything after that, it's just like, I mean, okay, yeah, you have meaningful relationships, you have children, you start businesses, yeah, but then you wake up, you go to sleep one night feeling fine, and then you wake up the next morning wondering how you blew out your knee.
But
In
the
your
insurance discounts stop, all right? Like,
yeah, like, no, it's a fucking joke. So, anyway, AJ.
My body kind of went to shit right around the middle part of my military career. A 15-mile hike up a 45-degree incline with 50 pounds of gear on your back will blow the hell out of your knees. And I only did it for a month. Like, heaven forbid you're an infantryman has to do it every day for 4 years. Yeah, that destroyed my knees, and then base medical put me on an antidepressant / sleep aid, and one of the side effects was extreme weight gain.
Ooh.
Or it wasn't extreme weight gain, but it was weight gain, and I picked up something like 25 pounds in 3 weeks. And it's been downhill.
That's a lot.
It's been downhill since then. I just haven't. Desk jobs have made it very difficult for me to take it off. Plus, I don't like going to the gym. So
Yeah, the gym sucks.
You'd see, my problem is it's boring. If I'll chase a tennis ball all day, but put me in a weight room and I just kind of look at it and go, "What the fuck am I supposed to lift it? Put it down, lift it, put it down. Just
lift it.
Make a game out of it or something."
Exactly. Make a game out of it. See, okay, I did 12 reps of 25 pounds. Let's see if I can do 15 this time.
Without my arms falling off.
There's a game right there. Done.
I mean, I don't know.
Just keep going until your arms are jello.
Give me a weighted basketball or something. Like, at least That's
Ye old
fun.
medicine ball.
Basketball with a medicine ball.
Just whipping that shit around.
No, my gym's got a really cool thing though. They've got a bunch of like treadmills and ellipticals and cycles in kind of like an auditorium, like movie theater style thing. And so you can go and do your 30 minutes of cardio while watching movie of the week or whatever. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Cardio cinema or something is what they call it here.
Something like that. But yeah, so my mid-20s is when everything started falling apart for me.
Yeah, and as I go through the shenanigans responses, that seems to be the consensus. I seem to be the outlier. So, don't know how I lasted 3 decades, but alas, here I am. Brandon Kuhn, the pain came in my mid-20s, but I can trace it all back to stupid shit I did when I was a teenager because I was all balls and no brains. Let's see. Devin Creasy, 23. I had a virus that attacked my joints. I've had back and neck pain ever since. It's why I stopped professionally building cars. Last year, I was diagnosed with cervical spine arthritis. Got some steroid shots in the joints in January, helped immensely, but I think they're starting to wear off. That's not great. Taylor, yeah, seriously. Taylor Hatch, lower back pain started in my early mid-20s and just got worse because I basically practiced improper lifting techniques for a living 40 to 50 hours a week, and now spending a few hours under a car will ruin me for at least a few days. My knees and ankles do all the snap, crackle, pop stuff from skateboarding injuries. When I was a kid, I would spend over an hour getting my newborn to sleep just to have her wake to my ankle cracking as I tried to sneak out of the room. Yeah, nothing quite like the first 10 minutes of your day sounding like the last 30 seconds of microwave popcorn. Just step, pop, 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 pop. Another step, pop, pop, pop. Let's see. Chirp. I blame mine on work and LTRs. It has absolutely nothing to do with the copious amounts of malted hops or fermented grains I've consumed. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ben Allred. My body has been my enemy for years now, but specifically last holiday season, I developed a lactose intolerance, and I awoke to the realization that this hatred had turned into full-on war. So that's a fun thing to wake up to. Jackson Henderson, fucking 22, dude. This year has been atrocious to me, medically speaking. Degenerative disc disease that's way more advanced than it should be for any 20-year-old. Mental health taking a good beating because of the Rona and a few other small things. My total medical expenses for 2020 has accounted for just over 15 grand. Luckily, I have insurance with my family, and I won't pay a dime of that. Thank God, because, man, once you got to deal with, like, co-pays and deductibles and that shit. Whoo-hoo.
Let's talk truth here. My insurance premium is over $1,000 a month, and my deductible, not my max out of pocket, my deductible is $13,800.
Oh,
so
holy
don't
shit.
grow up and don't run a business.
What do you have for insurance?
Some
Like
dude named Murray? Let's see.
And it's not their worst plan either.
Oh,
So
God.
keep that in mind.
What is their worst plan? They come over and kick you in the dick every morning?
That's extra. That's a copay for that.
Fuck that noise, man. And finally, Luke Dreher, I'll say 22 at latest. Cliff Notes, Marine Corps fucked me up. I've never had a broken bone or surgery until I joined the Marines. Since then, I've had 6 surgeries and a few epidurals to prevent my back from locking up. Semper Fi, do or die. They treat you like shit because they can. Anyway. I
can vouch for that.
Yep. Devin posted his 2020 drift season recap, so I think we'll probably link to that in the show notes because Devin's good, and he was struggling to get that into a reasonable amount of time. He posted a question, it's like, how do people do a full season review in 7 minutes? I'm through 3 events and I'm up to 10. So
we can't all be as cool as him and drift as awesome as him, all right?
Seriously, what with his
My
beams,
highlight reel could be condensed into 30 seconds.
right? Yeah, man, him and his Beams Corolla with his Volvo axle, just being a baller. Anyway, so that is it for episode 282 of the Camcast. It is 9:15 here in the Mountain Time Zone. It's 11:15 for AJ out there yonder. I know I'm pointing east. I know exactly where I'm pointing.
The lower east.
Yes. You know, the place where it's God and college football and then everything else.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, AJ, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Yes,
See you on.
thank you.
We'll see you on Thursday.
Do we want to get to that one shenanigan?
Yeah,
thing, or no?
fuck it, why not?
It's quick.
Yep. So Pepsi is coming out with a sleep beverage. I'll let you guys take a stab at what they're naming it.
What?
Yep. Pepsi. You know, Pepsi. They're coming out with a beverage that will help people ease stress and sleep better during, quote, these uncertain times, unquote.
I already know the answer, but let's go with Sleeptopia.
Okay. AJ, what do you think they're calling their sleep beverage?
I shouldn't have looked because now I cheated.
It's okay.
It's all about the ending of this. The suggestions that Gizmodo puts out there.
Yep.
The name is Driftwell. Which
yes. Assuming they're going to help
it's gonna hit the drift forums here pretty soon. So,
man, at the 2-day, I'm just gonna start slapping Driftwell, just crap, "Hi, my name is Driftwell" things on people's cars. Fuck them, I don't care.
Charles Driftwell the third.
You should down a bunch of Driftwell and see how well your pictures turn out. See what happens.
Drink some Driftwell and see how well you drift.
There it is.
I like
All
it.
right, even better.
I'll do the first one here. Probably my favorite one. I don't know. There's a couple of good ones. Melatonin Dew. That's what they should have called it.
Ibsen Extra. That's another great one.
Snore angina.
Ooh, man.
Dozer, but just classic.
Dr. Sleeper.
And my other favorite one, Mountain Dew Code Dread.
See, now this is where I feel seen. A pint of room temperature vodka. And then finally Pepsi Coma.
Yeah.
Don't worry, if you want to try Driftwell, I won't be throwing cans of it at you at the 2-day, tragically, because it will be hitting shelves in the first quarter of 2021. So,
yeah,
tragically. Anyway, there we go. Cleared out the agenda.
We did it.
And it's not even 9:20 yet. Anyway,
Fantastic.
AJ, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Topic. You're welcome. Always a pleasure to be here and get drunk with you guys and babble about nothingness.
Yep. For those curious, AJ, what were you drinking real quick?
Wild Turkey 101 and Dr. Pepper.
Okay. I polished off the following: a Crazy Mountain Brewing Company Credence Pilsner, a Silver Reef Brewing Company Color Country Red Ale, and Fresh and Juicy Session IPA and a Shades Brewing Grapefruit Revolution IPA. So that's what my stack is.
You are a classy broad.
My stack was a Coke Zero and a Diet Pepsi Wild Cherry.
Oh, do you want to see the graveyard of cherry vanilla Coke Zeros sitting next to me? Because it's kind of sad.
Do tell.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Good effort.
That is a solid kill count.
Yep. That's normally where I build models, but no, here I am, just crushing zero sugar sodas. Anyway, follow us on all the social medias. We are at Cam Auto Mag. I promise you it's better than empty cans. It's totally worth it.
You should post empty cans tomorrow, just so you know.
I really oughta.
You think Cam runs by itself? No, it's fueled by all of these beverages.
Oh, man, it is. I remember those early days when we were trying to get a beer sponsor, and it didn't work out because nobody gave a shit.
My squadron tried to get sponsored by Marlboro.
That's the least surprising thing you could have told me.
Well, because a bunch of me and my friends were sitting around on night cruise smoking and watching helicopters fly by, and we're like, you know what? We smoke enough. We should get the squadron sponsored by Marlboro, and they'd give us free cigarettes. And so we took a picture of one of our helicopters and mocked up on the tail the red and white Marlboro logo in Photoshop and emailed it to whatever the customer support email from Marlboro is. I forget, marlboro@support.net or whatever. And we're like, hey, we're big fans of your cigarettes.
We're big fans of your product.
We'd like you to sponsor this military squadron. And they sent us back an email, and they're like, that's not really the direction we want our company to go, but thank you.
What about some satin team jackets? Anyway, this podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever the hell Google's doing now. I forget what it is. Like, rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. We're friendly, especially when we're drunk. Right, AJ?
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
I'm just always friendly.
This is very true.
Except to Zach, but only on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Except to Zach, and except when we've been at a car dealership for 4 hours and your bag of chips gets stuck in the... That is the angriest I have ever seen you.
That sounds like a story that needs to be told.
And I have done some catastrophically dumb shit around you, and you have not been that angry. I think we've told it
a time or two. Yeah.
Well, whatever. Next week, it'll just be me and Trent sharing stories with, I don't know, people around.
That was the time.
God.
Don't push me to the point where I snap.
Seriously.
It's only happened a handful of times ever, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll share some stories. We've got some stories that made it onto the hallowed pages of Cam, some that did not. So there we go. If that's what you want for episode 283, let us know, because I'm willing to do it. Anyway, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/CamAutomag. Any dollar amount is greatly appreciated, but $5 is the magic number. It gets you the best bang for your buck. It gets you into the Super Secret Shenanigans Facebook group, gets you early access to the podcast, assuming Patreon likes my password, and I don't have to reset it 3 times in a fucking night. So, yeah. Having some real issues with Patreon, so I'm sorry that you haven't been getting your bonus content. So, sorry about that. Blame Patreon. They are playing defense against me. Patreon.com/CamAutomag. Cam Auto Swag, get yourself a sweet Fly Cam-Am shirt, hats, backpacks, flip-flops, phone cases, etc., until we just hold the pillow over its face, saying, just let go. Just let go. Support our sponsor, Steady Broke Clothing. They've been with us since damn near day one. Steady.broke on all the social medias, steadybroke.com. Use coupon code CAMAuto15 at checkout to save 15% on your entire order. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams. And hey, pro tip, if you're sick of eating ramen just, the regular way, take some cooking spray, just grab the noodle brick, spray it down, sprinkle the seasoning on there, just take a bite out of it. It's a whole different experience, but it's pretty tasty. You laugh, and you just stare off into the distance because you've heard me say dumber things before.
I laugh, but I've totally done the thing where you crunch up the ramen inside the bag and dump the powder inside and just eat it like that.
Listen, it's like a walking taco. It's great. Anyway, if you want to see more of this dumbassery continue, drunk or sober, head over to twitch.tv/CamAutoMike on Thursdays for Twitch Thursdays. It used to be called Twitch Tuesday, but apparently everybody was busy on Tuesday doing other stuff, so we moved it to Thursday. And hey, guess what? Everybody who said they would join us is still suddenly busy on Thursdays. Fuck your iRacing league. Come get drunk and play Forza with me and AJ and Chris and Quinn and other people. It's fun. That is every Thursday starting at 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Hawaiian, or whatever the shit it is. If you're in Hawaii, let me know. I'm just so curious to see exactly what our reach is. But yeah, twitch.tv/CamAutoMike. We're going to be doing more Forza Horizon 4. We're going to be leveling up AJ, just power leveling him through the game by doing catastrophically stupid races in catastrophically stupid cars.
And watch me overshoot every single start point.
Listen, turns out braking points are really key. And there are no markers in this. No markers. Anyway, so for episode 282, Trent has just been sitting quietly while I've been just running up.
There is no comment that I can make that will add to this that you're going through right now.
That's what I like that you describe it as what I'm going through.
It is not what you're saying. It is what
I'm going through. I'm going through a lot. Trust me, there's going to be one Camcast episode where it's just me just letting you know all of what I'm going through and maybe crying. So, but that has not been this episode, which has been episode 282 of the Camcast. I have been Mike.
I've been Trent.
And I've been AJ.
I'm going to go home and cry after this. All right, bye, everybody.
Home.
Fine, I'll go to the finished part of my home and cry. Okay. So
well, we should probably kick the slightly deflated tires and hold that Zippo up to the pilot light so we can get this thing lit and burning.
Really hope this thing kicks over. We've dumped way too much starter fluid into this thing for it to not.
Going for a hot start.
Backfire through the carb? Why not? It's a sign of quality.
The funny thing is you can't actually flood a jet engine because there's no container for it to stay in. What does happen is it just kind of like dribbles into the engine housing, and then if you're lucky enough, it'll dribble out of the exhaust housing, and then when they start it, you're basically starting it at 100% throttle.
Oh,
high, because diesel doesn't. Well, jet fuel is basically diesel, so it doesn't burn by ignition; it burns by compression. But it heats up really well, so you've got like hot liquid diesel just flying out of the back of this jet engine.
Sweet Jesus. All right. I like it.
It's a treat.
Well,